God has plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future too. So let me remind you of what you have the power to do.
You've been on a journey, trying to find your way. Like the sun, you're rising, 'cause today's your day to unlock every gift inside. Let your potential flow. Don't let anybody kill your vibe. Time to bust up and show. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Act like you know you can win. Live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra. They said you'd never make it, but you're still here. Kept on pushing through all your doubts and fears. Never let a hater see you sweat. Remember who you are. When they go low, let them reap what they sow while you go far. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Baby, shine like a star. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. If you got haters, they gon' hate. Keep your head up and just be great. It's your season, your winning season with Cassandra. Rise up, time to get on your grind. Go after your dreams, no time to fall behind. Push till the end and never give in. It's your winning season, get ready to win. Keep moving forward and never look back. It's time to get motivated with Cassandra Mack. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra Mack. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra Mack.
You broke generational cycles that no one else in your family was able to break. So don't give up now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you find value here. Let's get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. I know with your support, we can reach that goal. So we're doing something here called Highlighted Comment of the Day. If these videos have been helpful to you, please leave a comment. Let me know. If you are a member of the Wellness Club, the Insiders Club, the Leaders Circle, let me know how channel membership in the clubs has helped you. If you have any of my books or merch, which one do you have and how has it helped you? Don't forget to leave your country and your state or province. You never know, you may be the highlighted comment of the day. So today's comment comes from Superfox, and she says, thank you for all you do for our Winner Circle, now known as the Leader Circle of Cassandra Mack Ministries. Your passion and leadership through God is incredibly contagious, and I know that everyone in the meeting strives to reach their goals with and through God. The amount of support you give is immeasurable, so we will always enthusiastically leave enlightened for the next challenge. Wow, thank you so much, Superfox, for that feedback. I am so glad that being a member of the Leaders Circle has really been a blessing to you, and that it gives you enlightenment and aid in reaching your goals with and through God. God bless you, and thank you for being a member of the Cassandra Mack YouTube channel and a member of our community. So let's dive into our topic for today. I want you to know that God is pleased with you because you broke generational cycles that no one else in your family line was able to break. And I'm specifically speaking to that person who you know that you have been the curse breaker within your family line. And we're going to go to the story of the call of Abraham in the book of Genesis in a moment so that we can begin to draw some correlations and you can see that you are not alone in this experience. And so often when you do what you need to do, what God has been calling you to do, to begin to break unhealthy patterns, to begin to break toxic, dysfunctional, generational cycles, and you begin to create new ways of moving through the world, new value systems that align with who you are in God, that align with God's words. Do know that everybody in your family is not going to be happy. When you do things to protect your peace, to protect your children from toxicity and dysfunction, when you do things in a way that honors God, but at the same time allows you to protect your peace, your mental health, your joy, you're going to have family who's not going to like that. And so some of you are the first in your family line to have a breakthrough financially. Some of you are the first in your family line to break the cycle of addiction. Addiction has run through your family line, and you saw what it did growing up, and you have made up your mind that you are not going to fall prey to that. Maybe you have, and you've been clean and sober and maintaining your sobriety with God, and maybe also with the help of a program like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, or therapy or some sort of support. So when you are the first in your family, and I can go on, maybe you were the first in your family who has broken the cycle of narcissistic abuse. You may have come from a family where your parents were verbally abusive to you, emotionally abusive, and would spew all kind of toxicity, call you out your name, call you things like stupid, hoe, the B word, dumb. And you made a vow that when you became a parent, you would never talk to your children that way. Maybe you had parents that said things like, you're worthless, they wish they never had you. And it was very hurtful. And maybe it even sent you spiraling to a place where you were very depressed. And because you know firsthand how hurtful, harmful, and oppressive that type of parenting can have in terms of the effect on the child, you were doing everything in your power to break the cycle of verbal abuse. And you're like, I'm not going to talk to my kids like they're nothing. I'm going to let them know they are loved. I'm going to let them know that I'm proud of them. And even when I have to bring them a word of correction, I will do so with love and with grace. Even when I have to give a stern word of correction, I'm going to be very clear that it is the act that I don't like, but I still love you. It is the behavior that is disrespectful or inappropriate, but I still love you. And so you may have made some very, very clear and very deliberate decisions to do things differently from your family. Maybe your family gets drunk and they want to fight and act a fool. And you don't want those kind of shenanigans going on in your home. And maybe you don't even really entertain in your home like that because you're like, you know what? I came from that and I'm tired. Like, I don't want to be around Uncle so-and-so and Aunt so-and-so and they fighting and cursing and carrying on. I don't want my kids around that, you know? And you have made some clear decisions. Or maybe you were the first in your family to give your life to Christ. And because of that, you were being mocked. You were being ridiculed. And you were not going around judging people. You were not going around making people feel like they are lower than a roach. You were simply living out your faith. But you are catching hell for living out your faith. And so in whatever area you may have been the first to begin to break toxic, dysfunctional cycles, I want you to know to not give up. I want you to know to keep going on the path that God is leading you, even if you're getting backlash from your family, even if you are not quite getting the support that you thought you would get. You're saying to yourself, for those of you who are saying this, I did a good thing. Why am I being met with so much hell? And so do know that the thief, according to John chapter 10, verse 10, comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, right? But Christ comes so that we may have life and have life more abundantly. And oftentimes the thief will use, meaning Satan will use the people closest to us to steal, kill, and destroy our peace, our joy, our mental well-being, our emotional stability, our confidence, our sense of self. Sometimes he uses our own thoughts and emotions, the emotional space we're in. And so when you begin to make some changes that do not allow Satan to use whatever devices he's trying to use to steal, kill, and destroy the things that are yours, like your peace, your mental health, and so forth, do know that the agents that he's using, they're going to have an attitude. They're going to be upset. But you still got to move forward in the things that God is calling you to do in this season of your life. So let's go to the Word of God. We are in the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. And I want to show you what this looks like using Abraham. And so this is the call of Abraham. Genesis 12, that's the 12th chapter, verses 1 through 3, for those who may be reading along. I'm in the English Standard Version. And it says, "Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation. And I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in all the families of the earth, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." That's Genesis 12, verses 1 through 3. And so to give you some background, and we did a little bit of this on Church by Phone for those who came to Church by Phone this past Sunday. We are doing a series called Millionaires of the Bible. And our first case study was Abraham, and we looked at Abraham not only as a man of faith, but Abraham, the man of faith who was also a millionaire. And Abraham came from a Babylonian family. So he came from Babylon, a Babylonian family, and he came from a wealthy Babylonian family. And his family members worshipped in a pagan way, worshipped in an idolatry way. And Abraham decided to do something different. He decided not to go the route of his family in terms of worshiping in a pagan way and idolatry. So he went a different way. The Bible lets us know that he believed God. He believed God, the God of the Bible, and it was credited towards his righteousness, counted towards his righteousness. And so look at the charge that God gives Abraham. It says, "Now the Lord said to Abraham." So first he says, go from your country. So country represents territory, place. Go from the place that you're at. So this is specific to Abraham, but in many ways your story may relate. While you may have not gotten the word to go from your country, you probably have gotten the word to go from the place, space, or territory you were in, right? So country is representative of territory. And so some of you were in the territory of narcissism in your family of origin, and you were going from that territory. You were going from that place to a place of peace, even if it means living in a one-room single occupancy so that you have some peace. Even if you were on a blow-up mattress, baby, a blow-up mattress where you stick your key in the door and you have peace is better than the Taj Mahal where you are in a living hell. So he says, go from your country and your kindred. So go from your country and your family. And so some of you have created some distance between certain family members because the way that they live, the way that they do you, does not align with how you want to live, or is detrimental to your mental health, undermines your psychological well-being, undermines your destiny, your goals, your dreams, your priorities, the things that you're doing and pursuing, right? And then he says, go from your father's house, your home of origin. And so he gives him a threefold instruction. And so some of you have a call similar to Abraham, where you have a threefold instruction, and you heard the Lord say, I'm not talking audibly, an inner knowing, that you heard the Lord say, go from your territory, whatever that territory was. Maybe it was a territory of people pleasing, where you were jumping through hoops and allowing your family to virtually put you in an early grave, because stress kills. Stress will age you. Stress will give you a stroke. Baby, stress is no joke. And especially ongoing, unrelenting stress. And so go from your country, right? Then it says, go from your kindred, your family, and your father's house to a land that I will show you. So Abraham didn't even know where he was going. It's a land that I will show you. So this requires a measure of faith. And so maybe you, like Abraham, are getting the call that you don't know where exactly you're going, but you know that you got to get away from where you are. That may look like getting into therapy. That may look like doing some sort of introspective practice that allows you to take your power back, that allows you to find your voice again. Because so often when you come from an abusive household, for those where you have come from an abusive household, one of the reasons why you struggle so much with boundaries is because you were never allowed to have boundaries. You were never allowed to have a voice. You spoke up, and when you spoke up, you suffered retaliation at the hands of a parent or whoever your legal guardian was that was raising you. And so there were very specific reasons why sometimes people struggle with boundaries that link back to their childhood. And so I'm giving you a variety of examples so that you can begin to glean the wisdom, right? Because when we read the Bible, you always hear me say, when you read the Bible, you don't just read the Bible reads you. Don't ever forget that. You don't read the Bible only. The Bible reads you. The Bible will show you what you need to see. It shows us what we need to see for our own lives so that we can begin to glean knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about this life, about how to navigate this life with faith, with biblical wisdom, resilience, and grace. And so he says, you're going to go to a land that I will show you. And so this is trust. And so sometimes maybe you're in a situation where you have created some boundaries with a family member who is weighing on your mental health so much to the point where you're having panic attacks, to the point where it is starting to affect your physical health. And you were like, you know what? I need to step back. I don't hate you, but I got to step back because it's going to put me in an early grave. I got to step back for my own mental health. And sometimes you don't even know what that looks like. Right? Sometimes when we're going from one place to another, we don't know what the new place looks like. And I'm not just talking about physical. I'm talking about when we're going to a new place mentally. When we're going from the place of people pleasing to the place of boundaries, sometimes we don't have a clear vision of what that looks like. When we're going from the place of being a doormat and allowing people to walk all over us to the place of beginning to speak up for ourselves, sometimes we don't have the words to say. We don't know what that looks like just yet. But when you trust God, the pieces will begin to come together. It won't be instantaneously. That's not real life. But what will happen is that over time, as you get stronger, as you begin to grow in who you are in God, grow in the things of God, and as you trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding and acknowledge him in all of your ways, he will direct your path. That's the Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 promise. And so you might not know exactly what peace looks like, but you sure know what hell looks like. You sure know what stress looks like. You sure know what depression looks like. And so sometimes you are getting that calling, that inner voice saying that you got to go away from this. You got to do what you got to do. And so the scripture goes on to say, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great so that you will be a blessing. And so do know that for many of you, because your name is great, and a great name doesn't only mean notoriety. That's a small piece of it. A great name really has to do with your level of integrity, your character, your moral compass. That's a great name. So when there are certain things that you are not going to do, and it's not about being perfect. None of us are perfect. I'm far from perfect. None of us are perfect. We all fall short of the glory. But you are striving to seek the kingdom first. To seek the kingdom first and the righteousness of God, so that all the other things will be added. You ain't out here trying to harm nobody. Are we perfect? No. Will we sometimes say or do things that are careless, or when we step back, we're like, boy, I wish I would have did it a different way? Of course, we will all have days like that. But you are not out here intentionally waking up with the sole agenda of how can I kill, steal, and destroy from people? How can I devour people? How can I create mayhem and malice in people's life. You ain't waking up with that type of heart. And so that's part of your name being great. And then you're a blessing. And there will be family members who won't like that, because when you begin to shine the light of Christ, it also shines the light of what's not Christ-like. So when you are around your family and they are dogging another family member out, well, you know, so-and-so is doing so bad. Oh, yeah, I heard he's doing so bad. Oh, yeah, he's doing horrible. They all talking about, well, if he's doing that bad, why are we not helping? Are we praying for this family member? If need be, are we taking up a collection? If we family, like, what are we doing? Rather than just talking about how bad he's doing. And you know, he lost his job. Oh yeah, and his wife left him. And, or, you know, she lost her job and her husband left her. And we're just gossiping because it makes that person feel better about themselves, to be like, I'm so glad that's not me. And when you decide that you're not going to participate in that, right? And you might be at a family gathering, they are just talking about this person. Well, you know, yeah, she had that baby young. Okay, the baby's already here. It's not like you could push the baby back in the womb. The baby is already here. And if you know that she's young and struggling, are you helping with the Pampers? We're not saying each and every time, but could it be a one-time thing rather than gossiping? And so when you are of the mindset that you're not going to dog family out, right? But you are going to be moving forward in purpose and destiny. Do know that as your name becomes greater and greater, meaning as your name is synonymous with character and integrity, it's going to make people uncomfortable. Why would they not feel uncomfortable? Right? So if you have family members that's doing cocaine and you are not doing cocaine, they're not going to feel comfortable doing cocaine around you. That's common sense. And so similarly, when you are living your life in a way that shines the light of Christ, and you got family around you who are not living that way, and you're not judging them, but your presence still shines a light. There's no way around that. In fact, it's so necessary for us to know this, that the scriptures tell us that if the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. Right? If the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. And so you got to know that. Not just like, okay, I kind of guess. No. You got to know that. That's John 15, verse 18. If the world hates you, you have to know. You got to understand. When you know, you're not like, why are they acting that way to me? You're not asking that question because you know why. You know why. Why don't they invite me out anymore? That question is not even going to be a question, because you know. If the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. So it's people that will hate the Christ in you. You know that. So you know you're not going to get the invitation. You know certain family members are going to talk about you behind your back. She thinks she's all that. He thinks he's all of that. Whatever the language is, you know this. It's not a surprise to you. This is why these scriptures are important, because not only do they help us with our spiritual development, growth, and maturity, but it also helps us with our psychological functioning, our emotional balance. We're not all over the place emotionally. With the why, because the scripture gives us the why. It doesn't mean that we don't feel, we don't hurt. We're human. But the difference between, okay, that hurt my feelings for a minute, but I'm not going to cave into hurt feelings. I can feel a hurt emotion. I can feel a little sad, but I'm not going to let sadness sap out all the life force. So keep doing what you're doing. That's essentially what I'm saying. Keep doing what you're doing. And know that as you trust in the Lord with all your heart, and you lead not to your own understanding, and you acknowledge him every step of the way in all your ways, he's going to direct your path. Even if you're not exactly sure what it looks like when you get there, he'll direct your path one day at a time, one step at a time. So you keep doing what you're doing. Remember, Abraham heeded the call of God, and his life was blessed. And he had to do some things different from the way His family did. And so you might be called in a direction where you are being called to do some things differently from your family. And you may be getting a little pushback. But know that you are strong enough to handle the pushback. As a believer, you're strong enough. Why? Because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Even if your emotions don't feel strong enough, that's your feelings. That's not the higher reality of who God created you to be. Those are two separate things. How you feel has nothing to do with the truth and reality of who God created you to be. So I can feel afraid, but it doesn't mean that I don't have the potential and capacity to do what God is calling me to do. I might not feel like I'm able to do it. I may feel stupid, self-doubtful. I may feel like I don't have any courage in me. That's my feelings. That's my thoughts. But that's not who God created me to be. The higher reality is it is God's word that trumps how we feel. It is God's word that supersedes the emotion we're going through. We don't have to be subject to our emotions. We can feel an emotion. We can feel an emotion, absolutely. Feel sad, we could feel that. That's real, that's real. But even in our sadness, we could get a tissue, dry our eyes, get in that shower, put one foot in front of the other, and face the day. Even if we face the day with our knees shaking, our stomach in knots, and tears in our eyes. You ain't alone, baby. Remember that. So a couple of announcements I want to make sure that you know. And again, we are lifting up those in California who are affected by the wildfires. Know that our prayers are with you. Want to let you know about some of the resources that we have available for the general public who may be interested. So first and foremost, there's a workshop coming up on Zoom. It is the Self-Love Workshop. It's a ticketed event. It's happening on Saturday, February 15th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And it is a workshop that will combine journaling, coaching tips, activities, and exercises to really begin to learn how to give yourself the love you never got. And so if you came from a family where you feel like you were not really loved properly, where you didn't really learn how to build your confidence, build your self-esteem, get the validation that you needed, sometimes in order for us to heal from those things, we have to learn how to give ourselves the love you never got. And when we build godly self-love, which is different from what the Bible calls being a lover of themselves. Being a lover of themselves is narcissism. But godly self-love emanates from biblical love. It emanates from biblical love described in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. That says love is patient, kind, and so forth. And so that is biblical love. And a lot of times we apply biblical love only to other people. But here's the other thing. You got to apply that love to yourself too, not only to other people. Because you can only love other people to the degree that you love yourself. And the longest relationship you're ever going to have in life is the relationship you have with yourself. You were with you in the very beginning when you came out the womb. And you're going to be with you at the very end when you go in the ground. That's the relationship you got to cultivate above all others. It even affects our relationship with God, because never forget that God knew us before we knew him. God knew us before we knew him. You knew yourself before you had any awareness of God when you're coming out the womb. And so you have to develop that relationship with yourself. And so in this workshop, I'm going to be leading you through a series of coaching activities and exercises to really begin to give yourself the love you never got, so that you're never seeking validation from those who refuse to give it to you ever again. You learn how to fill your own cup with God through Christ. So for those who are interested, you will see the link in the video description box. It'll take you to the Eventbrite page where you can read more about it, where you can get your tickets. If you're interested, then that information is available. I also want to let you know about the self-love workbook. It's called Because You're Worth It. And this is a workbook that, again, goes through the definition of love as outlined in 1 Corinthians 13:4-8, and how to begin to apply those principles to self-love in a healthy and godly way. And then it takes you through the 25 components of self-love, giving you 25 separate activities to practice and add to your self-care toolbox so that you can begin to cultivate healthy and godly self-love. A lot of people confuse self-pampering with self-love. Getting your hair and your nails done is self-pampering, but self-love is internal, fixing the inside, beautifying the inside. And so for those who are interested, the book is called Because You're Worth It. It is a workbook, 8.5 by 11 workbook, and it's available at Amazon with the other books. If you're not a member of the Wellness Club, you're missing out. The Wellness Club is a therapeutic group that meets the first and third Wednesday of every month by telephone conference call. We focus on mental well-being, mental self-care, emotional healing, emotional stability and well-being, success through a biblical lens, and it's cheaper than therapy. We also have live stream classes in the Wednesday Wellness Club. So for those who are interested to become a member of the Wellness Club or any of the clubs, maybe you want to be a member of the Insiders Club, but the Wellness Club gives you the calls because that's usually what most people want access to, our wellness calls. So that's going to give you access to the wellness call. And if you're a leader or an entrepreneur, we have a tier of membership for leaders specifically where we meet by Zoom once a month. And it is a leaders circle, a leaders roundtable where we are talking about leadership and entrepreneurship through a biblical lens, sharing best practices and strategies with one another. And it gives you an opportunity to meet and connect with like-minded leaders on Zoom. That is in the leaders tier. So if you're interested, you're going to click on the join button on any of my videos. You'll also see a link in the video description box. It will take you to channel membership. Once you get to channel membership, you're going to notice that there are different tiers. Make sure to join at the correct tier that gives you access to the features you're looking for. So oftentimes a person will join at the introductory tier and wonder why they can't access the Wellness Club information. For you to access the Wellness Club information, you've got to be a member of the Wellness Club. So when you're reading that join button, read through the different perks and features that come with each level of membership so that you're making the selection that is right for you, that's going to offer you the features you want. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Again, our prayers are with you in California. Have an amazing day, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Let's do our best to be kind, but let's also take our common sense and our discernment with us. God bless.